How you doing, Tyler? This is Coach Harmon from Gonzaga University Baseball. First, wanted to thank you for attending our pitchers and catchers camp a couple weekends ago, and hope those 3 days were very beneficial for you as far as learning some new ideas and some ways for you to practice and get better on your own. First thing I want to do is we're going to go over our video here. Want you to watch it here full speed. One side of the windup, one side of the stretch, just to get an idea of what you're doing, and then we'll slow things down and talk about it a little bit. So, okay, very good. One side of the windup, and then watch you here out of the stretch as well. Okay. First off, I like how there's a rhythm and you're being nice and aggressive, which I like. I think a lot of guys I've watched at camp are trying to be really mechanical, and they lose some of their athleticism within their delivery. So I think you're doing a pretty good job of that, trying to be as aggressive as you can, which is a good thing. So as we go through it here, slow some things down and show you what I like to talk about with our guys and what I look for. First thing, okay, is being able to get to this point right here, okay? A lot of different terminologies for it, whether that's being loaded, that's being stacked, gathered up, your balance point, whatever you want to call it, okay? I like to talk with our guys that a couple things I look for here. We're stacked up on this back leg, okay? Head's in line, hips in line, shoulders in line. We're in a good spot right there. But most importantly is that you can get to this position consistently and do it every single time and get to a spot that you can get to this starting point every single time without having to think about it, okay? Why is that so important? Well, what I tell our guys is you have to be at a spot right here where you're in control of your body and you can answer two questions: when and where you're going, okay? Controlling your body to where, okay, is pretty easy. We're trying to drive everything towards our target and get as much energy going there as possible. The when I'm going is a little bit different, okay? Hands, legs, and hips all getting synced up, where they're working together and not fighting against each other, okay? So seeing here, looks like your hands and legs have an idea of how to sync up. The biggest thing on that is getting to a point where that you're getting feedback from the baseball telling you if that arm's truly on time or not, okay? And I'm not going to be able to answer that here in the video. The way you'd answer that is in your flat ground play, your catch play, your bullpen work of how consistent is your release point, okay? And that's just a matter of, if you're really inconsistent with that, I would revert you back to here as saying how consistent are you of doing the same thing there over and over, okay? And that's just a matter of putting in the reps. The big thing I'm going to look at here, though, is what our hips are doing, okay? Like I said, I think you're doing a pretty good job of being aggressive, of driving off that back leg, okay, and getting yourself down the hill in a good in a good position. The big thing I would say, though, okay, is I want to make sure here that I'm getting my lower half separated from my top half. And kind of watching here, and I can't see it as much because I'm at the angle I'm at, but see how our lead side here, and when I say our lead side, our lead shoulder is almost even or in front of my lead hip. I want to get some separation there where that lead side stays behind that lead hip as I'm coming down the hill, okay? So I get to a point here when I land, okay, that we're not forcing ourselves to open up, because right here, all that work you're doing with your hips is basically starting to clear out as soon as this chest opens up, okay? So I'd really fight to get that bottom half in front of our top half. As we come down the hill here, a couple other things. I love this high front side, lead elbow above lead shoulder. I'd want to look, though, at your foot here. See how we're really closed off? Okay. I'd want to work on getting to a point where that front toe is getting directionally pointed at my target. Okay. And like I said, keeping that top half back and behind that bottom half. Okay, that's going to help us keep this top half closed off. And then we'll really be able to allow these hips, as they start to rotate, this top half will rotate behind it, and that creates some of that torque and tension and speeds that arm up, and allows you to use that core and hips to your advantage, okay? The other thing I would say here, look at this front side. See how it just wants to kind of just keep flying this way. At this point right here, okay, if we're staying closed off for that top half, I want to see this front glove start to, I use the terminology of folding into your ribs and not pulling open. Okay, that kind of helps, that kind of drags that arm around, where if I can fold that glove in right here, okay, that's going to allow that arm action to drive through, and you're almost going to allow your arm and your throwing motion to take your chest to your glove as opposed to your glove, okay, as opposed to your glove taking you this way and pulling that arm through, okay. Your finish is good. I like how you get out over your front side. Like I said, if we can just get that toe point in a little bit more directional, that's going to help that energy going in the right direction. So as we go here in the stretch, okay, we won't stop as much. You do a good job of being quick. Remember, this point right here, identify that's my stack, my gathered up point. Now same thing, everything else applies. I want to get my hands and legs working together, get those hips driving forward. Same thing, kind of just notice how that top half wants to work with our bottom half. So a good drill for you would be to just get about 10 to 12 inches away from a wall and work on getting going forward with your hips hitting the wall first before your shoulders. You take your arms out of the equation on this drill, but just work on getting your hips hitting the door, and you'll feel yourself stay back, and that's going to put you in a little bit better spot to separate those two and create some torque and tension. Okay. A little bit better job with that front glove that time, but still, see how they're kind of working together. I want to start to, at this point right here, instead of that glove going this way, I want it to start folding into my ribs there. Okay. Overall though, I think you're doing a lot of good things. You're on the right track. We just need to tighten up a couple of those things, and it's going to help you jump that velocity a little bit. And I think the other important piece of the puzzle for you is just really buying into some of those theories that you had at camp, your throwing program, your band work. Getting to a point. I think another big piece for you is just seeing how physically strong you can get yourself, getting in the weight room, and really using this off season and this junior year to really focus on that part of your development. So once again, I appreciate the opportunity to work with you at camp. Stay in touch with me on how things are going. Hopefully get a chance to see you again here at a future camp, or possibly see you at a game this summer. And really, like I said, really happy to have you at camp. So have a great Thanksgiving. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the off season, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Go Zags.